Gamble.
Jonesy, what are you doing here?
Picking up some night shifts here and there. You know the force doesn't pay.
Well, I can't say as I blame you. Why don't you give me the dime tour?
Some wise guy made off with a big artifact here.
Artifact? What are we talking about? Rosetta Stone, King Tut's mask, Holy Grail, what?
One page.
Page?
Oui, one page. From the Uncial Codex. The book of Matthew. From the Bible?
Yeah, I went to Sunday school.
That is nothing to take so lightly, Monsieur
Gamble. Detective Gamble to you. I don't believe you've properly introduced yourself.
I am Monsieur Ugarte, the curator of this museum.
I like that accent. Where you from, Chicago?
Paris.
Well, that beats the Windy City. I was just busting your chops, all right? So why steal this piece? What's it got to do with anything?
I do not know. But as you say, you are the detective?
And you, my friend, could use a breath mint. Probably from all the Munster.
I give up on you.
Typical French.
Thief! Try to make off with my own victors.
Hey, Frenchie.
Oui?
Ladies and gents, my name is Detective Johnny Gamble of the LAPD. As you may have noticed, a very serious crime has been committed in this room tonight. That means you're all involved, either as suspects or witnesses. No one leaves here until I give the word. I have a lot of questioning to do. Is that clear? All right, I guess I'll start with you. What's your name, bub?
Dixon Hornsby.
What exactly do you do for a living, Mr. Hornsby?
I'm glad you asked. I'm a professor at the local university.
Well, what do you profess, Ace?
Biblical studies. I happen to be somewhat of an expert on this subject, Detective. Uncial and half-uncial calligraphy in particular. I've studied these ancient forms of writing for more than half my life. In fact, I spent 3 years abroad.
Not interested in your life story, just the facts. What do you know about these missing pages?
Well, are you familiar with the Codex Vaticanus or Codex Alexandrinus?
It's all Greek to me.
Latin, actually.
If I want a lesson, I'll enroll. Why'd you do it, Dix?
It is my passion to study these ancient treasures, Detective Gamble. What possible motive would I have to steal an artifact?
Well, if history's taught us anything, it's that seeing is a pleasing thing. But having, well, that's the stuff that dreams are made of.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yes. Yes, you are.
If you don't mind, I'd like to leave. My driver's waiting outside.
Well, maybe you missed the public service announcement. No one leaves, driver and no driver.
Certainly you don't suspect me.
Well, why wouldn't I?
Well, obviously you don't know who I am.
Bored socialite. Money's no object, but you know what is? Attention. It's lonely where you are, ma'am. You have everything you want, but no one pays attention. So you pull a caper like this because maybe, just maybe, you'll finally get somebody to notice you.
My name is Vivian Montague. Jean-Claude Henry Montague is my grandfather.
Harry Gamble is the name of my grandfather. What's the point?
He is the founder of the Fremont Commodities Exchange in New York City.
Maybe you're just envious that someone has something that you don't have, so you take it. Because, well, it serves them right. You could be covetous. Maybe you're angry, vengeful, spiteful. Or maybe it's just a case of simple civil disobedience from a spoiled little rich girl who grew up getting everything because her grandfather's name is John Claude Henry Montague, founder of the Fremont Commodities Exchange in New York City. Cat got your tongue, Miss Montague?
I see you like to play games, Mr. Gamble.
Only the ones I know I can't lose.
No, no! Why do we stand here wasting time? Was the real thief? Run away!
Real thief?
Mr. Ugarte here thinks that the culprit must have handed off the codex pages to an accomplice in the darkness.
Jonesy, you were by the door. Did you hear anything?
Not a peep.
Have you seen my dress, Detective Gamble?
I have. My 2 cents, it's a little much.
Well, it's hardly built for speed. I can barely walk in this thing, much less hurry in the darkness and hand off the missing item to someone in cahoots. And then make it back before the lights came on.
Point well taken.
Indeed. Now, do I need to do all your work for you?
That'll be all. For now. How long were those lights out?
Only 30 seconds.
They were out longer than that.
How long?
At least a minute.
30 seconds!
At ease, Frenchie.
Freddie Rogers.
I recognize your mug. I've seen one of your pictures. Western.
So you're a fan then?
Of you or the genre?
Either?
Neither. Sweaty palms, sir?
Look, I've got a premiere I need to mosey on over to, and I'm getting a little nervous about making that showing, sir, so...
You are?
Oh, that's another picture star there, Gamble. Bridget Flynn.
Forgive me if I haven't seen any of your work, ma'am.
Well, that's because the studio hasn't really put me out there yet.
Rising star.
You a publicist or you an officer of the law, Jonesy?
Sorry, Gamble.
Sorry if my palms are a little sweaty as well. Making that red carpet is very important to me.
Not sweaty.
How embarrassing. Caramel from dessert.
It sure was good. One of them chocolate cakes you get down south with the pecans on it.
You two a steady item?
Sure. This is my girlfriend.
I'm not his girlfriend. The studio wanted a pretty girl on his arm to distract the press from any shortcomings he may have.
Well, I hate to break it to you, cowboy, but you and Lady Luck are gonna miss that premiere tonight. All right, first things first. Who could have turned those lights out?
This is a very good question.
I don't see a switch in here.
That is because the only light switch is behind that wall.
Interesting.
Probably whoever got the drop-off did it.
I'll do the heavy lifting, Dixie.
Makes sense, Gamble. They turn out the lights and wait on the other side for the handoff in the dock.
I don't know, Jonesy. Who do you think did it?
Oh, nah, that's above my pay grade, Gamble.
Humor me.
Rogers.
What was that?
Rogers could have done it.
Are you calling me a thief, you greaseball?
All right, break it up, you two Nancys. Motive?
I read the newspapers. People are bumping gums about Mr. Rogers here and his affinity for the Workers' Party.
You a spook for the Nazis? Lady Liberty and Old Glory don't do it for you anymore? Apple pie, baseball, white picket fences, capitalism, the American dream. Which one is it? What made you turn your back on the greatest country on God's green earth? Are you a sympathizer, son? Nervous tick, are you trying to tell me something, dollface?
He is.
I'm free to believe and say whatever I want.
I dare you to make that statement in East Berlin.
Adolf Hitler is a great man. He has taken the German people from the brink of ruin and despair to a proud and powerful nation.
By thieving and killing his way through all of Europe. If you believe this, you are a thief and a killer yourself.
Don't flip your wig, Frenchie. Just because he's a traitor to Uncle Sam doesn't mean we can pin him as our thief.
Thank you.
Put the gun down, Jonesy.
Put the gun down.
Matter of fact, give me the pea shooter. You're making people nervous.
He may believe differently, but you shoot him and he bleeds red, just like us.
All he's missing is the white and blue. But your heart's in the right place, doll.
What would a Nazi possibly want with a biblical artifact?
I think that's the question we're all asking right about now, Miss Montague.
This monster, Hitler, uses his men to pillage the art from all of the countries he conquers.
Man with the funny accent makes a point. He wouldn't do it for money. That's just simple greed. You got an answer, Gene Autry?
I didn't do it.
What about you?
I didn't do it.
I wasn't finished yet. You think Roy Rogers pulled a fast one on us?
It suddenly makes sense now. All night he kept saying how he had to get to the museum, get to the museum. It seemed overly important to him.
The studio told me to make sure not to miss it.
Oh, well, that's a convenient excuse. Hey, you know what, Gamble? I think she's right. Yeah, there's your culprit, huh? After all, let's not forget he is a Nazi.
I hear you, Jonesy, but I'm eyeballing the singing cowboy's choice of formal footwear.
Yeah, it's another thing the studio makes me do.
Might have made it tough for him to walk around in the dark.
Ugh, I can walk in 6-inch heels. Certainly he can amble about in his cowboy boots.
Jonesy, get the lights for me.
What, you mean twin him out?
That's precisely what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
I need everyone quiet. Freddie, walk.
I mean, I can, or I will, but I don't want to bump into anything.
Giddy up, cowboy, if you know what's good for you. Lights on. Jonesy, you didn't hear nothing in the dark when the crime went down. That's the story, right?
Quiet as can be, Gamble.
So maybe the conspirator came into the room and the handoff happened here.
Maybe the pages never left the room.
What are you proposing, Detective?
It's possible that our thief was trying to make off with this Surratt. Just maybe. Surratt is, in fact, our second conspirator.
Merci, 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 merci. Oui.
Question is why?
How about who?
Oh, we'll get to that. You squeezed yourself into a gown so tight it wouldn't have allowed those gams to move that fast, even if your driver said he was leaving without you. For that reason, I'm scratching you off my list. Dixon Hornsby, you offered to help right off the bat. An eager beaver if I've ever seen one. Someone with that much to hide wouldn't jump up to spill his guts. Not someone as smart as you, anyway. Then there's the Frenchman. Look at him. Reminds me of the parable of the lost coin in Luke 15. He rejoices over what he's found. He's not worried about me calling him a thief. That's good enough for me. You're a traitor. And a lousy actor to boot. If I could, I'd haul you in just because I don't like you. Unfortunately, I proved that you aren't the crook at this clambake. Too loud. That leaves me with this bear cat.
Surely you...
No, sweetheart. Surely you. I know you had help. I just don't know why.
Reach for the sky, Gamble.
You're gonna have to plug me, Jonesy.
Yeah, well, that's the idea if you don't start moving. Now move.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you risk it all for this broad?
Don't take another step closer, Gamble. I'm warning you.
You already got a one-way ticket to the big house for this caper. Why not add murder to the rap?
Gamble?
Jonesy. Insurance policy. I wasn't 100% keen it was you when I sent you to turn off the lights. But I had a hunch.
It was her, Gamble. This whole plan was hers.
I figured that much. Lust'll make a man do crazy things.
How'd you figure?
So obvious. This dame needed access to make her plan work. Who better than the night security guard? Maybe the siren met you on the street. The market. Whispered sweet nothings in your ear at the cafe.
It was a month ago, Gamble. She approached me here at the museum.
Of course she did. And it felt good to have a pretty girl pay attention to a bum like you. She worked her wiles and made you putty in her hands. Promised you the world. Am I close? Or spot on?
Detective, this is insane. How long are you going to listen to the stark ravings of this madman? He's obviously lying to save his own skin. I've never even laid eyes on this man before tonight. Why don't you accuse the professor while you're at it?
Which one of them is telling the truth?
Sweetheart, you couldn't act your way out of a paper bag.
You're not as clever as you think, Detective.
I don't have to be clever, just good.
False modesty doesn't become you.
I don't know, it might if I practiced. You worked hard to set your date up to be the patsy. Most dames would give their right foot to have a night on the town with a big star like Freddie Rogers, but not you.
Well,
I don't have to listen to this.
You do. Rogers, lasso her for me, will you?
I can't really lasso her. I'm not a real cowboy, you know. And that lasso thing ain't easy. I got a stunt guy that does
Just
all
tie
of it
her up
for
so
me.
she can't go anywhere.
Don't you lay your hands on me, you filthy pig!
What was so bad that you wanted to see an innocent man hang for a crime he didn't commit?
Monkey business out west.
Monkey business out west.
Yeah, what in the heck are you talking about?
You were slated to be the lead in that movie. I was to star alongside you, your love interest, my big break. We were in preparation to make the film, and you backed out.
Happens all the time.
The film was canned, and I never got another chance. I've been reduced to playing bit parts and walk-ons. No one takes me seriously.
Save the sob story for your agent, sister.
It wasn't supposed to end this way. I take full responsibility. No need to get Jonesy involved.
If only it were that easy.
I'll confess to everything.
And you can confess to whatever you want. But Jonesy will pay for his part in this as well as you for yours. That's the way American justice works. Isn't that right, Freddie? Boys?
You're a disgrace to the force, Jonesy. You come with us, Shay. Stop resisting. Let's go.
How did you put it all together, Gamble?
Once I figured that page never left the room, I knew someone had to turn the lights out. Freddie, you were my pawn to watch Jonesy find the switch.
Oh, I don't mind.
Only he and Ugarte knew where that switch was. One of them had to set things in motion. As I guessed, I was able to watch Jonesy do his old reach around from his position by the door.
Well played, detective.
Bridget had sticky fingers. Pun intended. It wasn't from some sugary dessert. It was the substance that she used to stick that page behind the painting. It had to happen fast, under cover of darkness, and she didn't have time to take it off before the lights came back on.
How did you make the connection?
It was the way Jonesy talked about her. Practically slobbered all over himself, talking about how she was a big star, and she admitted she was a hack. That hound dog wore his lust like a scarlet letter.
That's some pretty fancy footwork.
Well, John Claude, you give a fool enough rope, eventually he hangs himself with it. It was a hard gamble. But like I said, I don't lose.